I think we felt pretty good on our team going into the regular spring training. So, knock on wood, guys are staying healthy, and we navigate through this thing we got going on and keep guys on the field. I think we got a really good chance to do something pretty cool.
What's different about this team than last year's?
We got these young guys have gotten more experience. I think we got a little more depth. Got some bullpen help, and just got some. We got Salvi back. Obviously, Gordo had a great year last year, so he's kind of back to his form. And like I said, we just got some of our starters starting pitching. Got a little more experience. Duffman's healthy, and we got some of these young guys, some of my bats last year. So we feel a little better about where we're at.
Well, everybody talks too about the improvement of the bullpen in spring training. Is that one of the areas you see too? That'll be a big help.
Yeah, when you got two guys that can come in and flirt with 101, 102, that's a great thing to have in your pocket, along with a healthy Greg Holland, who I think Kansas City knows what he can do. And then guys like Tim Hill, Kevin McCarthy, guys that continue to learn and continue to understand their role and continue to excel at it. So we feel really good with what we got.
Thanks, Whit.
Hey, Whit, Len here. I wonder for you, as you were listing guys, I wondered about, somebody like Soler and even Dozier, maybe even a little bit more so. Do you feel like over a 60-game season, what they did last year, they can carry over or maybe even have more impact in some ways this year?
I think so. It's just going to be it's going to be weird. It's going to be a little different, a little bit more of a mental challenge, because if you don't get off to that good start, you don't have that 162 to make up for it. And so guys are going to have to realize it's not that long of a season, but at the same time, not try to compound and press and try to get results back quickly. But you're going to kind of have to. It's a 60-game season, so you're going to have to play well early, and it's going to be a mental challenge. But I think we have a group of guys that are more than willing to take that on.
And how, for you, just how confident are you? I mean, considering everything you guys are going through now, just all the different things are in place with the safety protocols and, guys around baseball who are, popping up with the virus right now at least. How confident are you that you guys get through this whole 60 games? I mean, where are you at with that?
I don't know. I don't know what this virus is like as far as the science behind it. I obviously know that it spreads. I feel like we have enough protocols in place to handle it. I hope that we can handle it, and I hope we can make it through the year. But yeah, so as far as how we feel about it, I've seen what a lot of guys have said, and I respect how they feel. And I'm in a different situation than a lot of guys, and guys are in different situations than me. But my feeling on the whole thing is, I'm saying this coming from a wife that has a compromised immune system. And there was never a hesitation from her or me about playing this year, because she's been with me since high school. She understands what it takes to get to this level. She understands this level is a short window of time. And she also understands that just like I have an obligation to her to be the best husband I can be, to my siblings to be the best brother I can be, and to my parents to be the best son I can be, I have an obligation to those guys in there, because those guys are my family as well, to show up and to perform. And if I'm not there, I'm putting those guys in jeopardy this year. If they're not there, they're putting us in jeopardy as far as a team goes. So those guys are my family, just like my family at home is my family. And for us, for guys, at least in this clubhouse, to consider not showing up, I don't think was ever an option, just because we understand where we're at as a team. And we're not going to let the virus dictate what we've done and how we've gotten to, how long it's taken us to get to this point. We're going to keep living our lives and combat it the best we can. and whatever happens, happens. But I'm not going to let this affect how I go about my day-to-day. Sorry for going on a little rant, but I feel like
Hey, Whit, it's Vahe here. Great to see you. Just along those lines, you talked a little bit about the psychological aspect of the season, what that'll be like. I do wonder right now that with all the things you were just talking about, is there some psychological battle with just being able to focus and concentrate and how much work you have to do that way mentally just to be able to be in the moment?
Yeah, a lot of it is just new to us. It's like having this going from the locker room to here. It's new, and it's what they're deeming as necessary to keep the virus from spreading. And so we're going to listen to them and try the best we can. But this is all new, and we're all trying to figure out, we're all trying to stay cognizant of what we have to do, where this, if you go to dinner, try to stay away from people. If someone comes up on the street and says, hey, can I take a picture with you? You kind of have to say no. That's not normal. That's not comfortable. And so that psychologically is taking a lot of getting used to. But like I said, the health officials are telling us that's what we have to do to get through the season. And so we're going to do whatever we have to do to play a Major League season.
Do you feel like you're able to laser in the way you want to right now, these first few days back? Just when you're out on the field, you're out on the field?
That's the good part is when we're out on the field, that's comfortable. That's normal. That's what we can do best. And stepping off the field, doing things off the field is where we're going to have to kind of get constantly reminded to follow the health and safety protocols. But when we get on the field, that's our comfort zone. So that's been great.
Thanks.
Wait, how tough is it not having Rusty?
I just said thank you.
Go ahead, Alec.
How tough is it not having Rusty involved? I mean, I know he's going to be around-ish, but how tough is it for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty bummed when I heard that he was not going to be with us, just because I was excited to have him back. Missed him the last couple of years, and Rusty just such a ball of energy every day that when I heard he wasn't going to be there, I was a little bummed just personally. But obviously he's doing what's best for him and his family, and I respect that. But from a personal level, I was a little bummed. But Damon's done great. I've known D for a while, and looking forward to having him at first.
Hey, Whit, Gerald. When Mike Matheny and then Salvador Perez, obviously with the news yesterday, just your overall reaction to when you hear him going through something like that. And then also Mike, being kind of honest and open about his personal experiences with it. Did he ever have conversations with you about it? And if so, without going into too much big detail, like, what are those conversations like to know that this is a real thing that's passing around and it's affecting people that you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a cousin that's had it. Dozier's parents have had it, like he said, and knowing that Mike had it, he talked to me about it the other day, and I won't get into his details, but you have guys like that, and then it's unfortunate cases like Salvi where he feels great, and he gets this news where, okay, he can't play for 14 days. Well, he's got to sit home and feel great. It's tough, especially for a guy like him that's coming off Tommy John, has worked so hard to get back on the field. Granted, he'll be back, but for him to be, just sitting at home right now, knowing that we're out here working out, I'm sure is really tough. And I mean, nobody's questioning the fact that this is a real thing or not. It's more of, for me, it's more of I just hate having something I can't control dictate how I go about my life, and that's just my opinion on it. I understand I'm young and healthy and don't have a compromised immune system, but like I said, at the same time, my wife does, and she feels the same way, and that's just kind of how we are in our household.
Well, you mentioned the family. Can you describe what it was like to be back with everyone the first couple of days? Like how fun was that just to be back with everyone the first few days?
It's great. It's great seeing these guys. Like I said, these guys are my other family, and we have a dynamic in Kansas City where most of the guys in that clubhouse, we've been together for a long time. And it was hard not to, come in and hug everybody. You just, like I said, you have to be reminded what you can and can't do. But it's great seeing everybody. It's great being around guys again. It almost feels like we're back in the swing of things. But, looking forward to games starting and really getting kicked off.
Hey, Whit, Mike's told us a couple of times in the last few days about the responsibility everyone has with the protocols in place out there to do everything there, have the mask on when you go from the clubhouse to the interview room. But when you go home, that's the part that's going to be really important. How has the club reinforced that message to you, and you as a leader and a veteran on the team? Do you feel a responsibility to talk to the guys about what they have to do when they're away?
Yeah, it's just being self-accountable. Knowing what you do outside of the field is going to could possibly put into jeopardy the guys in that clubhouse's job. That should be enough for guys to stay pretty disciplined when they leave this place. And if not, then it's up to us to sort of regulate that on a player-to-player type deal. So obviously, if I see somebody going out and partying, I'm going to let them know that that's not a good idea. And you're putting my job, you're putting Nikki's job, you're putting Mike's job in jeopardy when you do that. And that we can't have that.
Not to mention my age.
Not to mention Mike's age. He's young and spry still, but he's right there on the cusp.
Hey, Whit, real quick, I know you might not be able to get into too much detail like this, but I know it was a testing day. What's that whole process like when you get there with the questionnaires and then the testing? And I know it's all the new normal, but what's that process like on a day-to-day basis for you guys?
It's pretty smooth. We don't have the swab of our nose, which is great. It's a saliva test, and it's everyone has their own thermometer, and we take our temperature before we get to the field. Fill out a questionnaire that's doesn't take but 5 minutes. Ask if you have any symptoms, stuff like that. Get here, get our temperature again, and get the saliva test like every other day. I would like it if the turnaround was a little quicker, but it's not, and it beats a swab up the nose. So for as quickly as they had to throw this together and as new as it is, it's been pretty smooth at this point. So that's a good thing.
Does it get any nervous if, because you said about the testing, how it might not be the quickest, you get nervous if 2-3 days later something pops up and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's nerve-wracking because guys like you saw with Salvi that are asymptomatic, that, he was ready to come and be in here with us, and all of a sudden he gets a call and says he's tested positive. So that part's nerve-wracking, knowing that you can feel great and get some pretty bad news. So that's the most nerve-wracking part.
But can you hear me okay?
Turnaround on
Yep.
that. What is the turnaround? How long? I don't know. Is it a few days or?
24 to 48.
Yeah, my first one was 56 hours. It's supposed to be 24 to 48, but I don't think they understood how bombarded they were going to be with saliva samples. So I think it's gone a little slower, but hopefully they can figure out a way to be a little more efficient.
Just for the record, the first day there were 3,200 samples flown to Salt Lake City from all over Major League Baseball. So the 24 to 48 didn't really pertain the first day. Now I think they're trying like the one we had today, where they're going to be spread out a little more. The numbers aren't going to be nearly as gross on a given day, if you will. So hopefully it'll be a much quicker process. That was said by the guy off screen. The good-looking guy.
I wanted to ask you, because we haven't had a chance to talk to you in a while. When you hear that one of the Royals' high draft choices was going to be the, quote, next Whit Merrifield, considering where you were with this organization at one time, what kind of feelings did you have when you heard that?
It's cool to have people compared to you instead of always being compared to somebody else. I hated the constant comparisons because I felt like my game I had bits and pieces of other guys, but I feel like my game is unique to me. And so I hated the comparison of always being comp to Zobrist or Willie Bloomquist was, I think, at the initial comparison. So that always kind of bothered me. And so now that there are guys being compared to me, it's a nice change of pace.
You talked about the challenges facing, I don't know if this would be a challenge or not, but empty stadiums playing, is that something you've thought about? Will that be weird, or is that just not even something that, it's just baseball?
It'll be different. It'll be weird. It's not ideal. It's, we have great fans here in Kansas City, and when the place is rocking, it helps. And it helps get you going. It helps your adrenaline. It helps you sort of, when that adrenaline is going, it helps that focus really, really lock in. And we're going to have to, I'm sure there's still going to be some, but there's nothing like a big situation here in the crowd get real loud. There's just nothing like that. So that's going to be a challenge. It's going to be different. But hopefully it's just a quick challenge. Hopefully eventually fans will be back. Obviously not 100% at first, but maybe 20%, 40%, and we can gradually get to the point where if you want to come to the game, come to the game, and that's my hope.
Is everybody good? If so, thank you, Whit. I've
Thanks,
got
guys.
Nicky Lopez in the room now.